He's doing good. Don't really want to get into it too much. It's a family matter, so I'll just keep it to the family. And that's all I really have to say at this point.
Just wasn't our day. Couldn't find a lick of momentum. I'm kicking myself for some of the tiny decisions on myself as, the guy that's been in the building for 12 years and seen a lot of football and actually seen a situation just like this.
The Kansas City Chiefs' Super Bowl hopes were dashed in New Orleans, and the Mahomes family clearly wasn't in the mood for any nonsense after the Eagles dominated them 40-22. The tension escalated when Patrick Mahomes' father, Patrick Mahomes Sr., found himself in a heated confrontation with none other than former MLB pitcher John Rocker on Bourbon Street. It all started when Rocker, seemingly trying to joke around, approached Mahomes Sr., but whatever he said didn't land well. Mahomes Sr. snapped, yelling at Rocker, who stood stunned, and the tension quickly escalated. Bystanders had to intervene to prevent things from getting physical. But Rocker wasn't done. He took to social media, calling Mahomes Sr. an effing loser who couldn't take a joke, even admitting that he wished he had laid him out right then and there. Yikes. Mahomes Sr. fired back, labeling Rocker as the same loudmouth he's always been and telling him to keep his name out of his mouth. Rocker, not backing down, insulted Mahomes Sr.'s appearance and boldly claimed that Mahomes was lucky to get away, saying, "I would have rocked him." Seriously, that's the best Rocker could come up with. No one knows exactly what Rocker said to set Mahomes Sr. off, but considering Rocker's history, it's probably a good idea for him to stop poking the bear. The last thing he needs is another public brawl, especially since he's practically begging for one. After the Chiefs' tough 40-22 loss to the Eagles in Super Bowl 59, the spotlight quickly shifted from the painful defeat to a bigger question. Could this be the end of Travis Kelce's legendary career? Reports have been circulating before the game that the 35-year-old tight end might be considering retirement. Given his quiet performance, going catchless until the third quarter, it's no surprise those rumors are gaining traction. Even Kelce himself skipped the post-game press conference, offering only a brief comment to reporters in the locker room, calling it the Chiefs' worst game of the season.
He's doing good. Don't really want to get into it too much. It's a family matter, so I'll just keep it to the family. And that's all I really have to say at this point.
Patrick Mahomes, however, wasn't ready to entertain the idea of Travis Kelce retiring just yet. When asked about his teammate's future, Mahomes got sentimental, praising Kelce's contributions not only to the Chiefs, but to the entire NFL. He's given so much to this team and to the NFL and been such a joy, not only for me to work with, but for people to watch, Mahomes said, emphasizing that Kelce's impact goes beyond just his impressive stats. Still, Mahomes acknowledged that the decision isn't an easy one. He pointed out that Kelce still has plenty of football left in him if he chooses to keep playing. You can see it, but it's if he wants to put in that grind, Mahomes admitted. It's a grind to go out there and play 20 games, or whatever it is, and get to the Super Bowl.
A reaction to this?
Hats off to the Eagles, man. They got after us. They just got after us on all three phases, and then on top of that, turnovers, penalties, playing behind the sticks on offense is just
difficult today.
Couldn't find that spark, couldn't find that momentum. There was a lot of things going wrong. Can't just say that it was just the O-line or.
With the physical and mental toll of another demanding season ahead, Travis Kelce has a lot to consider. One thing is certain: if he decides to walk away, he's already solidified his legacy as one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game. But if Patrick Mahomes has his way, Kelce isn't done yet. The Chiefs' Super Bowl loss was tough enough for fans to handle, but for the growing number of supporters who became invested in the team because of Taylor Swift's relationship with Travis, the disappointment hit even harder. And let's just say, Swifties weren't in the mood for any kind of sportsmanship toward the Eagles. So when Travis and Jason Kelce's New Heights podcast account posted a congratulatory message to the Eagles after their 40-22 victory, things quickly took a turn. Swifts fans flooded the post with angry responses, questioning why they would acknowledge the team that just crushed Travis' Super Bowl dreams. Some fans were outright furious, feeling the post was tone-deaf given the heartbreak that both Travis and Taylor's fanbase were feeling. Before long, the post was deleted, but by then, the damage had already been done. Fans had taken screenshots and were dissecting the situation, with many convinced that the backlash from Swifties was the reason for the post's sudden disappearance.
I'll let Travis make that decision on his own, man. He's given so much to this team and to the NFL. But it's if he wants to put in that grind. It's a grind to go out there and play 20 games, whatever it is. And people don't even see it at practice. I mean, the energy that he has, he wants to take every single rep. We have to get him out of practice. And people don't even see it at practice. I mean, the energy that he has, he wants to take every single rep. We have to get him out of practice.
While the podcast's social media team didn't address the deleted post, their account quickly shifted focus, keeping all Super Bowl-related content centered on the Chiefs and avoiding any mention of the Eagles. They followed up with a post praising Kansas City, writing, "Played their hearts out. Hell of a year for the Chiefs." As for Taylor Swift, despite being one of the most talked about figures during Super Bowl weekend, she remained completely silent. She hasn't posted anything about the game or the fallout that followed. Whether she's subtly distancing herself from the drama or simply too busy with her tour schedule, Swifties are left to speculate. One thing is clear though, when it comes to Taylor's fans, even a well-meaning sportsmanship post can quickly turn into a full-blown controversy. Jason and Travis Kelce may be one of the NFL's most famous sibling duos, but before their New Heights podcast, their communication wasn't nearly as frequent. In fact, Jason revealed in a recent interview that they used to go months without talking. "The best part of the podcast is just getting to talk to Trav," Jason admitted, explaining that their busy NFL careers kept them in different cities, limiting their interactions. But once they launched New Heights in September 2022, they found a built-in reason to catch up weekly. Jason shared that the podcast has strengthened their bond, rekindling the closeness they had growing up. Despite being the older brother, Jason has never taken on a mentor role with Travis. Instead, he sees himself more as a supporter than an advice giver. "I try not to be too much of an advice person," he said, emphasizing that everyone has to learn things for themselves. However, he's always there when Travis needs him. With Jason's retirement from the NFL in March 2024, he now has more time on his hands. And as a new analyst for Monday Night Countdown, he was in the stands at Super Bowl 59 at the Caesars Superdome, cheering on both Travis and his former Eagles teammates. Watching the Chiefs take on the Eagles, however, wasn't easy for Jason. After the Eagles' 40-22 victory, he admitted to having mixed emotions. "That game was odd for me to watch," he shared on X. "On one hand, I wanted what's best for my brother, and on the other hand, there are so many people, teammates and coaches in the Philadelphia Eagles organization that I cared deeply about." Jason made it clear, though, that there's no one he loves more than Travis. "Of course, I feel for him, and I'm always rooting for him," he wrote, "but I know he does not need nor want my pity."
Yeah, damn. It's just life, man.
I think people have been waiting to hear from you since the game Sunday. I mean, you have so many records at this point that this is kind of just another one.
That's the last thing that I care about right now. Going into the game, I felt as confident as I ever felt in going into a Super Bowl or a playoff game or a big game in my life. And that wasn't the reason. to happen on the biggest stage sucks. It's a tough pill to swallow. It's a hard reality, man. I'm sorry for how it ended, but you know, I have a beautiful life. I have loved ones. Right now, I'm just kicking everything down the road. I'm not making any crazy decisions. The biggest thing is just...
He praised Travis and the Chiefs for their incredible accomplishments, reminding everyone that they've achieved greatness that most can only dream of. The brothers previously faced off in the 2023 Super Bowl, where Travis led the Chiefs to victory over Jason's Eagles in a close 38-35 game. With Super Bowl rings in 2020 and 2024, Travis' legacy is already cemented, even if this Super Bowl didn't go his way. Despite all of his success, Travis is taking the Chiefs' Super Bowl loss hard. After struggling on the field and barely making an impact, he's holding himself accountable for the team's lackluster performance. In fact, some fans are even saying he jinxed himself by breaking his own golden rule, having dinner with Taylor Swift the night before the big game instead of isolating in his hotel room. Travis finished the game with just 4 catches for 39 yards, while the Eagles dominated with a 40-22 win, with Taylor watching from the stands. That loss must have stung even more. Now that the dust has settled, Travis is reflecting on what went wrong. On New Heights, he admitted, "I'm kicking myself for some of the tiny decisions I made on the field." He also acknowledged that he wasn't the best at motivating his teammates. "It was tough knowing my family was there supporting me," he added, clearly taking the loss to heart.
Just wasn't our day. Couldn't find a lick of momentum. I'm kicking myself for some of the tiny decisions on myself as, you know, the guy that's been in the building for 12 years and seen a lot of football and actually seen a situation just like this. Beautiful life, man. I have loved ones. I have the most amazing family in the world that supports me in everything that I do early on and helped my guy Pat out and helped my team, you know, find that momentum or that confidence. But, you know.
And here's where it gets even more interesting. Retirement rumors are now swirling. At 35, and with multiple Super Bowl wins under his belt, some are wondering if Travis will call it quits. Even Patrick Mahomes has acknowledged the possibility, stating that Travis has nothing left to prove and is a first-ballot Hall of Famer.
The Hall of Fame tight end, and he wants to be the guy working the hardest. It raises everybody's standard. It raises the standard of how you practice. It raises the Super Bowl, and he's done enough to be a gold jacket guy and first ballot Hall of Famer. He'll come back here with welcome arms. We love that guy, not only for the football player, but the person that he is every single day.
But let's be real. Does Travis really want to leave football behind when he's still making big plays? Mahomes hinted that it all comes down to whether Travis is willing to put his body through another grueling season. With Taylor's Eras tour schedule and their jet-setting romance, could we see him stepping back? Guess we'll have to wait and see. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.